All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakakudash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone Well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abababal. So this is a video on the show on the channel Donut Factory, and the interview is with James Tooney, and as you can see the title, it says The Elite War on Your Soul. All right, which pretty much is going into the implantable microchip, how the elite, the wicked that rule the world, are going to make it mandatory that you have to have an implantable microchip put inside your body to be recognized as a citizen in their new world order. All right, I'll share this video in the description box, Lord willing, I remember. But once again, the implantable microchip is the mark of the beast spoken about in Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he are the elite of the so-called white race, which he says it goes far back, right? He's trying to say it goes so far back, but he didn't want to say really where it belongs. It belongs to Edom, right? Edom, the so-called white man, the red devil, are the elite, all right? And their job is to be wicked on the earth. The Most High Yahweh, the Supreme God, right, created Esau, the so-called white man, to have an age, right, to where they were able to rule the world and gathered the nations under them. But now the tables are about to turn, because the Lord is about to end the age of the so-called white race, which their biblical name is Edom. All right, the elite, they're Edomites. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, which is that so-called white race. They're going to bring out an implantable device, and that's what this man is saying. That's why it's called implantation. It goes back to slavery, all right, just like being on a plantation. They're going to track your whereabouts. He even goes into how they're going to want to control your nervous system. All right. And they show you in the movies, or even in what they say. Look at Elon Musk. It says that in this chapter that they would actually do miracles. All right. It says right here in verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he's able to allow people to walk, right? He's able to one guy, he put a chip in his head and he was able to control the computer. They're able to open doors, right, with just putting their hand next to the door. So these are miracles to the foolish, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which the whole world is under this so-called white race, which they rule with this beast system, which is a 7-headed beast system with 10 horns. The 10 horns are the kings of the European Union. The European Union being Greece, Rome, France, Britain, Spain, Germania Major, Germania Minor. All right, in this generation, they are the ruling hand of Edom, the left hand of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? Which they're controlled by Yahweh and his son Yahushai. All right, and Yahushai, if I didn't mention it, forgive me, but Yahushai is the son of Yahweh. Yahweh being the supreme being, Yahushai is the Messiah, the King of Kings. All right, and that's one thing they deceived the world, is saying that he was a so-called white man that loved everybody, which is false. He's a so-called black man, All right, and he's very austere, and really even the righteous are scarcely saved. It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. That's what the new world order is, the image of the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Which in this video he even talks about how America is just like the son of Great Britain, and Great Britain is the child of Rome, right? And then he says it's even goes farther than that, which it goes back to the Edomites, which Esau was the brother of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Esau's name was changed to Edom. Edom is the so-called white race. The word Edom means red, which these so-called white people like to eat bloody meat. That's when they started calling them Edom, when Esau sold his birthright for bloody pottage. All right, which the Israelites today are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the sons of Jacob. All right, and just like our forefather, his name was changed to Israel, right, by showing his endurance when he wrestled the angel. While we're doing the same in this generation, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. And that angel we're wrestling now is Satan, which he manifests in the flesh through Esau, the so-called white race. Also, you got the 2/3 here in America, which they're going to be destroyed with that so-called white race because they cleave to Esau and his technology. So just like they ran to get the venom that they promised that would, keep your job for you, and they ran and lined up for it. Well, that's how it's going to be with this MOTB, but on a higher level, because you're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to be able to buy. You're not going to be able to sell. You're not going to, pretty much, you're going to become an outcast. And that's what we're preparing our souls for, because they're going to pretty much make us outcasts to society because we do not take the implantable microchip. And that's another thing this man goes into, right? That's why the elite war on your soul, because they're trying to deceive you into taking that implantable microchip. That's the whole point. They're trying to deceive you into taking that chip. He's going to tell you all these reasons why you should, and make it almost nearly impossible for you not to. All right? It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, verse 16, and he, the elite of the so-called white race, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, and it says, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That mark is that implantable microchip in their right hand or in their foreheads, which they're going to make it mandatory, just like they did the dealing with the C-19. They said you had to take a jab, right? A jab, and that jab now is known as poison, all right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So you saw how some stores during this test run with the jab, they said if you don't wear a mask, you can't come in. Some jobs said if you don't take the jab, you can't work here. Well, that's what they're going to do on a higher level with the implantable microchip. They're going to say you can't come in here to shop. You can't buy nothing because you don't have the currency that we use, right? And you're going to be a fugitive because the refusal of that device is going to be punishable by death in Esau's system, which is wicked. It says, or the name of the beast, or it says, or the number of his name, which that beast man that it's speaking of is Edom, the so-called white race, which they were the Romans, not in the Dark Ages, all right, but they were the Romans in the time when Yahweh Shai was crucified, All right. In the Dark Ages, the reason they called it Dark Ages was because the Israelites were ruling. Not only the Israelites, but you had the Arabs. It was a dark-skinned people ruling. The so-called Caucasian, all right, went into a form of they were taken down, all right, but they were allowed to come back up, which was the Renaissance, the rebirth of the so-called white race, to fulfill the prophecies in these last days. It says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beasts, for it is the number of a man," which starts with the elite of the so-called white race. They call themselves the Illuminati. And his number is 666, which they've developed this from the ancient ways of the past, like branding, piercing, showing, slavery. But then now they moved it into a barcode system, which every product that's on a shelf has a barcode. And pretty much they want to put a barcode inside of you. So when they scan you, which they could do it from remotely, they'll be able to pull up all your information, where you're going, where you're coming, what you're doing, what you're not able to do. All right. So this is what that's going into, the development of that implantable microchip, which it's not new. It's the chip, the device, the technology is in this era, this time, but the idea is ancient. Remember, in Babylon, they wanted a new world order back then, pretty much amongst the nations, and that's why they were building that Tower of Babel, right, trying to reach heaven. Because they're pretty much confederate against the powers that be, which the power that rules is Yahweh, and he does it through his son, Yahweh Shai, which he controls the right hand and the left hand. Yahweh Shai, the son, he does the will of the Father, and after they make this implantable microchip mandatory, nuclear destruction of America will take place. It says in Revelation 14:9, and that's another thing, right? At the same time, you got Russia moving ships, nuclear subs and nuclear ships to do war games in Cuba. So they're right off the shore of America, and that's really getting set up so that they can nuke America after the implantable microchip is made mandatory worldwide for buying and selling. It says in Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, you worship that so-called white race, you're okay to do with whatever they say, you're obedient to them, and his image, his system, which he's going to make it mandatory for everybody to have an implantable microchip. This man right here, James Tooney, was telling it right here. It says, and receive his mark, that implantable microchip, in his forehead or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, the nuclear destruction of America, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which you got the so-called UFOs making themselves known, because those are the angels that follow the Lord. They're gathering themselves, one, to deliver the elect, two, to avenge the elect when Yahweh Shai gives the order, when he gets the order from the Father Yahweh to destroy the wicked in their kingdom. It says, and the presence of the Lamb and the smoke of their torment, because America is going to be on fire and smoke for, just like Twin Towers, after it was taken down, it still smoked for after the destruction. So this is what's going to happen. It's going to smoke and be on fire for who knows, only the Lord knows how long. America will be a desert that smokes and, burns for a long time. It says, And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, which it means for a long time. For they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Because once you get that device, there's a movie called Implanted, and they show you this chick takes the device, and it's how right when she gets it, if she don't want to do what they say, they torment her by messing with the elements in her body, right? And then the things that they had her doing was all evil and wicked, So, they're going to do horrible things, and they're going to be destroyed in their wickedness. And the Israelites that are unfaithful, they're going to die in their unfaithfulness. It says, here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. Which it made me think of Revelation 13 and 10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity, which this is why it's called, this man here, James Tooney, he was explaining that's what the whole part of it being called implantation. Pretty much they're putting you in slavery by implanting you with the microchip, which you served slavery in the past on a plantation. So that's what they're turning the world into, one big ass plantation. So they're going to go into slavery under the Israelite, them and all the other nations for 1,000 years, and then they're going to be made extinct. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. I was going to say, that's what those nuclear missiles are. Those are a great sword that was given to Edom, the so-called white race. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So it's all going to play out. We just got to be patient and faithful and endure into the end.